Friday, the 7th of February 2025, and the US market is just about to open. The NFP announcement has passed, so the market has had a chance to react. As usual, you can see it trapped people and likely stopped a lot of people both ways. This is why we don't really trade news. We can perhaps trade somewhere around 15 to 20 minutes after, but definitely not immediately after the announcement. That is very dangerous. I haven't done any other trading from the morning session. We did get stopped out of the DAX long off the 15-minute bar, and also stopped at break even in the UK 100 short. So that was fine. Still a very nice morning with some nice wins. And now we are focusing on the US session, where I have several entries that are of interest and that I'm going to monitor here. And I will also use ATR to assess volatility compared to previous days. So already, if we check here, we are actually comparable to the volatility between London and New York of yesterday. So it's probably going to keep going up. Let's make this smaller a bit just to see even further back. So we were at 46. No, actually around 38.40 at the beginning of the US session yesterday. And around similar levels, so it's pretty much similar volatility in the Dow. So I'm going to wait for the completion of the second 5-minute bar in the Dow, as that will be our first trade. It's going to be a normal sized trade. And then I will have several others, but I will announce them as they come. They are all mechanical, of the same style, where we place a buy order above and a sell order below a specific candle. And that is because I'm researching these entries and they are profitable right now, and they have been profitable for weeks. So I'm taking certain time-based entries with mechanical orders placed above and below a certain range of a candle, and following price wherever it fills me first, deleting the other order, placing the stop in its place, and so on. So I will have a few entries for the Dow, actually, a few entries for the Nasdaq, one entry for DAX, and 2 entries for SPX. Actually, for SPX, we will enter off the 5th 5-minute candle today. So with that in mind, I will let price do its thing here, and we'll bring you back when we're closer to completing the second 5-minute bar here in the Dow, which is the closest entry we will have. I mean, the first entry, the closest to this moment in time. So pausing you for now, and we'll bring you back when we're close to entering. Bringing you back here, I need to place a buy order above here. We are very close to the high of the bar. It's just going to complete any second now. And there it is. Place the buy order above. Sort of a normal sized trade here. We are probably going to get filled long. Yes, indeed we have. And I probably miscalculated. I went higher, I should have gone lower on the sizing. Need to risk just 50 on this. So let me just remove a bit, even though we're in a bit of drawdown here, it doesn't matter. A little bit more. Okay, now it's closer to what it should be. And I am going to target for this move. At most we've made 180. We've made 100 quite a few times. And on the low end we've made 60 and 80. So I think going for somewhere around 80 points is appropriate. And gold is breaking out now. I do not have another setup for gold for today. And I'm not going to take a price action based trade on gold on Friday after NFP. So we'll just have to let this one go for now, even if it rallies here. I'll keep an eye on it, but it's not looking likely like I will be in another gold trade for today. So let's just focus on my planned entries here. We are long here in the Dow, and I am awaiting the completion of the first 15-minute bar in the Nasdaq. Let me just check its size. 870 to 770 basically, so it's an 100-point bar. Kind of large, I'm not gonna lie. But it's still within our rules, and we have made 100 points on this entry quite a few times, and it's one of the better ones right now. So I think I can actually afford to go a bit higher size here and maybe go for a bit less than 1-to-1 R&R, which might not be conventional, but it is supported by my research, and I think once we close here we can target something like 60 to 70 points, I would think. With quite decent exposure here considering the size of the bar. 1 minute left, actually less than 1 minute. My next entry for the Dow will be after the completion of the 5th 5-minute candle, just like for the SPX. It's going to require some quick maneuvering, but hopefully I'll manage. First 15-minute bar has completed. I've placed my orders and will await a fill here. I don't really have that much of a bias now. Obviously we're in an uptrend, but we're getting towards some resistance here perhaps on a higher time frame. At the same time we are above previous day high, and we've broken out after NFP. We've closed quite strongly above the London session. So I can see us keep going upwards here. I'm also interested in the second 15-minute bar in the DAX, but on a lower size. So we will wait for that as well. And now I'm waiting for hopefully the Dow to keep moving upwards. And then I'm also waiting for the fifth 5-minute bar in the Dow, and we're gonna do things a bit differently there. So we're actually gonna bracket the whole range between the second 5-minute bar and the fifth 5-minute bar in the Dow, and place a buy order above that range and a sell order below. If I'm still in this trade at that time, I will only place the long order, however. Okay, I think it's time to pause you and wait for things to develop here. We're attempting to break out here in the Dow, and this is a key moment because we are revisiting the highs of London session. So the yellow rectangular encapsulates London session range. These are key levels for me always, the high and low of previous range, previous session. You see a lot of reversals around these areas. So obviously I am aware of that, and with that in mind, considering this is a lower time frame entry, I do think that moving the stop loss is a must here. So I will just be risking $17 now to make 54. If we reverse here deep into London session, I do think that we're going all the way down, so no reason to lose more. But at the same time, I don't want to go to break even immediately, because you do see price revisit and then continue its rally. So I do want to be careful not to get stopped out too often, but at the same time I do want to protect my capital and lower my risk when market has gone in my favor. And it is attempting to break out here, but a bit shyly. Let's see, because even if we just raid the high here, we can easily hit TP and then reverse. So I am counting on some of those scenarios as well, where you just fake a breakout, and faking a breakout here might be enough for us. So I don't really even need this move to continue that much. Of course, when this bar completes, it will be the fifth bar. So actually, let me just do it for the SPX really quick. So this is a 4-point bar. So we can actually go quite big size here. So I'm gonna go just a point above and a point below. And once this closes, I also am going to add a lower position above here, using the same 5-point cushion that I usually place, something like that. It's a different trade, and the stop for this will actually be below these two bars, right below these two bars. So we got filled in, and the stop is here, risking just $34. And for this entry, let me see quickly here. This entry has actually been better, but I have not been taking it. I've been just observing it. So I'm actually gonna be ambitious here and target 100 points. Let's go just below, and we hit TP on the original entry, which is nice. And I'm just letting this run. So I'm basically risking an extra $34 here on a bit lower size and targeting 100 points. So if this move has legs now, we are golden. We're gonna ride that wave. And if not, I'm still in profit. So that was nice. Now the Nasdaq still hasn't filled here, which is a bit weird. And we're 4 minutes away from completing the second 15-minute bars. Currently it is a 27-ish bar, so it's kind of a low bar for the DAX. But I am planning on taking this entry lower size. And I just got filled short in SPX here. So risking 52, and which is the full amount basically. And I am going to be targeting something like 15 points, not going to be super, actually not 15 points because I have to look at the structure here a bit. So I am looking to revisit previous day high basically, or just this area here where we started this breakout. I am aware that I'm going against the Dow here, but that's not that uncommon. I would like for this entry to work because we're in quite high size. Sizing of $8 a point for the SPX is pretty nice. So we wouldn't even need a big move here for a nice return. We don't usually get these. But we will follow the price wherever it goes. And we've done our mechanical entry, followed our plan. So whatever happens now happens. We have been filled, so nothing we can do about that. And always have to remember that some entries will just not work. It doesn't mean anything, especially since everything is according to a plan and a well-researched one at that. So just have to stay patient now. Now for the Nasdaq here, actually the price action in the Nasdaq kind of supports the case for selling off here a bit, especially if we close back into London range. That's the key here. Will we close back into London range? I don't know. I'm placing a buy order above the DAX here. And the sell order below. This candle is just about to form here. To finish forming, I mean. Is that 2 points? Am I? Yeah, let's just leave it. Oh, wow. What a drop down here. What was that? That was a weird fill. Wow, our fill slipped in the Nasdaq. And actually I don't like that. I'm just exiting. That's weird, and we obviously got stopped in the Dow as well, which is fine. We had some more news coming out. I was aware of more news coming out, but at the same time, after NFP has happened, I didn't think another news would create this type of volatility. Michigan consumer sentiment doesn't usually do this, so this was basically algo driven, nonsense is what I call that. So we're still in the DAX trade here. That Nasdaq trade was next level. I just wanted to exit immediately because I just don't like that. We basically gapped down in a second. And look at the Dow here. I was just risking $33, but because of that insane amount of slippage, I lost almost double. That's also the case for the SPX, however, so we gained more money because we slipped 2 extra points almost. So it evened out. I'm not that concerned with it, but that was quite insane. So I'm happy I exited the Nasdaq, whatever happens here. Don't really want to be a part of that when it's that random, because I don't think the edge plays out as well. Obviously we're still going lower here, so you might say, I rushed, but I'm happy to just go lower in the DAX here. Let me just check again. I was targeting 50 points. So let's just target 50 points. $49 points. That's fine. So that's nice here. I'm obviously going to delete the long order in the Nasdaq. I didn't even get to place a stop in the Nasdaq or manage the trade in any way. I just saw everything collapsing. So I think we got both lucky and unlucky with that, because we were short in the SPX and we benefited there, but we were long the Dow and we got stopped there and at a much worse price. But again, these are the risks of trading, and you saw live here how and why it's so important to manage trades well. And sometimes you can still get unlucky. High news events can cause this type of volatility. Now, generally, what we've just seen is very rare in terms of happening post NFP on another piece of news that generally isn't as relevant, which is Michigan consumer expectations and consumer sentiment, and Michigan 5-year inflation expectations. I guess this is actually the data that brought this volatility, because this number is higher now. So it expects inflation to increase, and obviously the market doesn't like inflation. So yeah, I could have stayed in the Nasdaq, but I just didn't like what was happening. And I think my reasoning is sound there. We're still in the DAX, so we still have exposure to the downside. But it's perhaps not the environment I want to trade my mechanical entries in, where you can just get super lucky or unlucky. That's not really what I want. So I think I was actually lucky that it evened out and I actually gained a bit of money, but and we are almost halfway there. So I think at this point I'm gonna be aggressive with my stop loss and just go to break even here in the DAX. But we are very weak here. We might just dump to TP. Look at that third 15-minute bar in the Dow. Okay, I'll wait a bit, but I do think that this reaction is overblown. So I actually believe there's a good chance we get stopped out for nothing here in the DAX, but I think it's worth letting it run. Although you never know, maybe we have a lot of trapped people long here and we will want to squeeze them more. So whatever happens, this is definitely interesting. And now in the Dow, we've raided the lows of London session and are retreating strongly into the range. Actually, a 5-minute close here in the range is a long signal. So yeah, we are retracing now. I'm willing to let this profit go for the chance to make the full amount here. Definitely some attempt to go back up, but you could also see people get trapped here who are rushing into buying. Okay, I guess I'll pause you a bit, and if we get stopped out, I'll show you. If we get close to TPL, I'll bring you back. So we are pushing down again. Actually gonna go on a 5-minute time frame here to see it better. I think that's fine. We might double bottom here. But you see the people who rushed to buy in here are getting screwed now. And we have actually gone all the way back to previous day low, which is quite insane. But yeah, like I said, I do not mind going out here. That's a bit random of an entry, and I don't think my edge really covers that, even though I would have gotten lucky here. I think it's fine to minimize risk in such circumstances. So I am pretty much done with the entries for today. I do have 2 more, but both of them are in smaller size. So the 7th 15-minute bar in the Nasdaq and the 4th 15-minute bar in the SPX. So I will definitely wait for those. Or actually, I might just wait for the 4th 15-minute in the SPX because it's Friday, last day of the week. Perhaps I'm not going to stay as long to wait for the 7th 15-minute in the Nasdaq as well. And volume might start drying up by then anyway, but we'll see. I think it's been a nice day where my entries worked quite well. But it's Friday and NFP day and high news, high random volatility. I'm glad, to be honest, that I didn't get unlucky, because I could have easily gotten more unlucky. But I think this shows that with good management and good preparation, you can definitely have a good day on a high news day as well. And I think you can rewatch both the European session and this New York session to see how a good plan, good preparation, precise execution, precise targets, and stop losses based on research, not on guesswork, allowed me to have quite a nice day. So I will pause you for now. No more positions right now. I will wait for the 4th 15-minute bar. It's just starting to form now. It will be this bar. We'll see how big this bar becomes. It might, if it goes to like 20 points, I might skip it, but other than that, I will let it run. And DAX is going lower, but I don't care. I wanted to exit because with this volatility, you never know. And again, it's Friday. It was NFP day, and I think even last Friday I started the day not wanting to stay that long in positions, and then I did, and it wasn't the right call, so I decided to take that experience and just exit a bit earlier today, which is not what I usually do, but I think it's with good reason here. So yeah, I'll pause you and wait for the 4th 15-minute candle in SPX to form, and we'll see if I take a position after that. So the 4th 15-minute bar is about to complete in SPX. I'm gonna go lower size here because this is what my dynamic risk allocation is indicating for this entry. It's basically still a good entry, but a bit lower performing than others lately. So I still want to take it, but I should basically protect myself in case it doesn't work. So when it works, I still make something out of it. I haven't passed on it completely, but when it doesn't, I simply lose the minimum. So that is why we go lower size here. And I do think this is going to be the last trade of the day. It's like I said, I'm not going to hang around for until the 7th 15-minute bar completes, because then that can take me quite long into the session. If price doesn't move fast enough, I could be managing the position for even hours, and I don't want that. So I will just get a fill here, and I will now look over the spreadsheet and decide on a target. So I think that 16 to 17 points looks like the most likely and reasonable target, which is going to essentially be a 1-to-1 R&R. So if we get filled short, that is somewhere around here. If we get filled long, that is somewhere around here. So right below the beginning of this super bearish bar. I think that's fine. And I'll pause you now as I wait for a fill. And we have just gotten filled here, so I will delete the short order as always, placing the stop right below. So I'm just risking $32 here, and like I said, I'm gonna go for a 1-to-1 here. So basically, retest of London highs. We are back in London range, so we have raided completely the lows, going back into the range. I think there is opportunity to revisit this area. We are risking just a little bit, so I think that's fine. My rules for adding to a position are still valid. So if in the first 5 minutes we close 10 points above our entry point, I will add. Now obviously 10 points is more than half here, but that's the ATR. So let's see, I'll pause you and bring you back. So still monitoring things here. We went a bit below, but it does feel like we want to go back and revisit the highs. Like I said, this drop felt a bit too reactionary, let's say, by the markets. I think that we can just see a slow grind back up here. I don't really plan on staying until the completion of this trade if speed doesn't pick up here. If we just slowly move, I will let the DP in place, the stop in place, and we'll let it do its thing. But I will wait like an extra half hour. Gold is marching forward, no issue, all-time highs. Yeah, sadly my entry today would have been off the second 15-minute bar break, which would have worked very well. but sadly my analysis revealed that it was maybe not that good to take it today. So I decided to skip it. The fact that it worked is honestly good news for this particular strategy, because it's one that I've taken a lot recently as well. So the fact that it worked is still a positive, even if I'm not in it personally. So I'm happy to see it work, and you will see this, very likely you will see this back into my list of trades for next week. So let's see, it does look a bit undecided here. Of course, we did just get filled in, so it could very well end up being one of those unfortunate fills where you just get filled and you see a full reversal. But that's why we are risking less on this entry. It's not been as good, but still good enough that it's worth to be taken. So that is the reasoning behind that. And just hoping the lows hold here, because if they do, we will definitely be going back up here. So let's see, I'll wait another 30 or so minutes and we'll wrap up this video. And we were just back at the entry point, and the market just dumped immediately. I'm just happy we didn't get some extra slippage here. So yeah, a bit weird. Weird day from that point of view. I don't mind, but that was definitely not news based. This is just algo driven now, so yeah, definitely not interested in the 7th 15-minute bar and the Nasdaq when things like these happen. I mean, this has been really weird, but that aside, it's been a really good day, and I'm very happy with my execution, with my patience, with all the progress that I've been making, and also with the implementation of my new rules and adjustments after analyzing my entries and my strategy. And this will continue, so I honestly expect results to keep improving here. I feel like I have a very good understanding of what I'm doing right now, and you can follow along, and I will keep explaining and giving good entries for everyone to see and learn. So please like and subscribe to the video if you want to tag along for future videos. I have a very interesting strategy. It's based on mechanical entries. It will have clear rules, clear entry rules, clear stop loss. The targets are very logical and also based on research, but also on structure. And yeah, look at this price action now. So this is definitely some algo-driven randomness that I don't want to be a part of, or some tariff-related news perhaps, I don't know. But again, this has been a very good day, very good end to the week. And I am excited for a bit of a break now in the weekend, and we'll be back fresh Monday to keep grinding on this account. So we're 25% in of the 1000 target to pass the challenge, and we will continue that challenge next Monday. So thank you for watching and have a great weekend.